Let's talk about social media. Let's talk about how to complain. Let's talk about automated options. Let's go now to Bill Akass, Chief Content Officer for Spokesman Said.com. Is that the right company, Bill? Good morning.
Good morning. It's Bill Akass. Thank you, Danny.
Oh, right,
good morning. That's fine. No, it's a difficult one to pronounce.
Right.
No, that's fine. It's a Spokesman Said.com.
Spokesman Said.com. Okay, that threw me a little bit, Bill. Tell us about your website, please.
Yes, it's interesting. You were just talking about Twitter. We're very positive about social media, as you'd imagine, and I think what we do is really take the power of social media, and we amplify that, and we allow people to make complaints via our site, and then we use social media to publicise them. And we think this helps people get action from companies that have treated them badly.
OK, because you can just, for example, there was a story I read the other day about a guy, he's a BBC reporter, who was moaning about British Airways first class, and he tweeted British Airways, and it just went viral. Because you can directly just include their address, can't you?
You absolutely can do that. And the interesting thing is, you know, you're a journalist, I'm a former journalist, and we know the power that we have, and we know how to articulate issues, and we know how to get leverage. We know what happens when companies like British Airways or other companies fear that they're going to get bad publicity. And it's miraculous how sometimes problems we have get resolved, or problems that are about people that we're doing stories on get resolved, which is fantastic. But we think we should extend that power to everybody, and we think that companies shouldn't just treat VIPs and give them special treatment. They should actually treat everybody fairly and honestly. And we think we're sort of taking that concept, the power that you have, Danny, the power that I used to have as a news reporter, and we're trying to give that to people.
Bill, as I understood that we were talking to you today, I just did a little Twitter bit of research, and I went to McDonald's Twitter feed, and you want to see what people they'll take a photograph of a half portion of soggy chips, and then they respond to every single one of them, and there's photos of burgers without cheese, and it's really interesting, but people are clued up, aren't they?
Well, they are, and but also remember the companies are clued up too, and behind that Twitter, that very sophisticated Twitter account that McDonald's run, they'll have a PR team, they'll have a customer service team, they'll have all sorts of tools and very expensive systems in place to manage social media and manage their reputation online. And our fear really is that kind of power struggle, that balance of power, again, companies are using Twitter, using social media, exploiting it and manipulating it to some extent. And we'd like actually to see some of these companies spend a bit more money on having bums on seats in call centres, on people that make decisions and solve problems, rather than trying to game social media by being on social media and just answering tweets without actually taking action.
So you want to lean on them a little bit and say, listen, you just got to pull up your socks. It's all very well responding to a half-eaten McRib without the sauce, but you need to just do something about the McRibs in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. And, our site isn't about moaning. I mean, people do moan, of course, and it's not just about complaining. It's not a review site like TripAdvisor. We actually want the companies to take action. And the way that we do that is that you can lodge your complaint on our site. You have to use your real name, so it gets around the issue that you were talking about earlier about Twitter. You use your real name, you write a complaint, you write your own headline, and that goes live on the site. Obviously, we're careful about making sure that people aren't unfair or make personal attacks on people, and that complaint goes live, and then the company has some time to respond. Now, a clock starts ticking, a virtual clock on the site, and if they don't respond within a reasonable amount of time, their customer satisfaction ranking, what we call the customer power score, starts decreasing. And it keeps decreasing until they respond, and they respond fairly. Now, we think eventually enlightened companies, and we're already seeing this happening, will realise that they need to engage with this and that they need to deal directly with consumers via this site. If they're able to go on Twitter and manage their reputations that way, they can go on our site and actually deal with real complaints.
Yeah, and just finally, I don't think emails are that effective anymore.
I don't. I mean, what I'd say about that, Dan, is a personal bugbear of mine. I mean, I think people use email as a barrier to customer service, not actually to help people. And it's an example of technology actually being used to not to give people good customer service, but actually block people.
Yeah, a spokesmansaid.com. I'll check it out, Bill. Thank
you,
very much
Danny.
indeed. Nice to talk to you. Bill Akass there, Chief Content Officer for aspokesmansaid.com. Check it out. Have Bill in your corner. Lean on the companies a little bit.